Machina, Mayhem time. Yep, Machinedramon enters the fray. A lot of lists for this Digimon have been popping up lately for this boy as well. But this video is not to only understand how to build it, I go over the card by card, the strengths, the weaknesses, and the combos. As always, if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more future content. This is one of those decks that, when it goes off and sits there. Otherwise, you have to play this deck carefully. Last week I had this list ready to go, but with the surprise restriction and EX3 gift boxes dropping, I had a lot of time to playtest and craft this new variant taking EX3 into consideration. This deck runs 4 level 2s, 12 level 3s, 8 level 4s, 14 level 5s, 6 level 6s, 5 option cards, and 5 tamers. This deck was designed with a notion for somewhat of a budget in mind. After all, where are those level 7s at? For level 2s, this deck runs 4 Pagumon, arguably the best egg for black when it comes to Digi-Eggs. Pagumon allows you to reveal the top card of your deck on deletion. If it's a black Digimon, add it to your hand. With this specific variant of the build, every card is black, but unfortunately you whiff on 10 possible cards, 5 tamers, and 5 options. Originally, I considered running a Digimon and Guilmon package for card draw, popping smaller bodies, and also running cards like Fireball and Crimson Blaze. However, with the black package, you get a lot more consistency with a few memory tricks. Additionally, not all of these level 5s digivolve from red level 4s, meaning there would be some sacrifice in terms of running other cards that are not Machine. An example being Cyclonemon. For level 3s, this deck runs 12 in the form of 2 BT2 Hagurumon, 3 Kokuomon from BT8, 4 Hagurumon from EX1, and 3 starter deck Chikurimon. There were a lot of considerations when playing into the Crossheart meta, but now with the restriction, I don't anticipate Crossheart doing too much until BT11. For the upcoming meta, we're going to see a lot of change. I dropped the OG Chikurimon that de-digivolves when checked in security. Honestly, I found this card more likely in my hand than in the security, and with 3 Kazus I wanted to maximize my chances at having a machine on the battlefield, or one that comes up from the raids. To that end though, with the way current metas have been shaking up, Kokuomon plays a role in certain matchups, especially the Armored GX games. This prevents your opponent from climbing into the Magnamon X for Magnamon with the option card, which can be huge. But again, with Blue Flare and other cross decks like Dark Knightmon, you'll need starter deck Chikurimon to handle the rest. But the real MVP level 3 of this build is EX1 Hagurumon. This level 3 on play lets you trash a cyborg or machine from your hand to draw 2 cards. A great way to fill your trash with level 5s from Machinedramon. And while you can utilize the level 5s in your hand, the best place to nab them from is from the trash. On to level 4s, this deck only runs 8 in the form of Tankmon and EX1 Guardramon. Tankmon is simply a cheap, big beefy machine body to slam into the security, and if it's not deleted, you force your opponent to tackle the threat, and then you can potentially net a card with Pagumon. As for EX1 Guardramon, this Digimon is simply not only a blocker, but also a Digimon that has an amazing inheritable that lets you cycle a cyborg or machine in your hand for 2 brand new cards. More added value as you dig for Machinedramon. For level 5s, this is where the deck goes into the deep nitty gritty. And for these level 5s, you can run really anything. Objectively, I wanted to maintain all black cyborgs for the fact that with EX3's release of Chaosdramon, Izzy Izumi brings a lot of new value. For my variant, I chose 1 copy of Black Mach Galgamon as my resource for DP buffs, but only if the Digimon has Reboot. While it is only a 1-of, I prioritized a few others as 2 or 3-ofs for more valuable effects. Gigadramon gives me plus 2000 DP on my opponent's turn for blocking, Andromon gives me blocker, Metal Tyrannomon gives the Reboot, which can help with blocking or DP buffs from the Black Mach Galgamon from before, but this one is the most important one, which is why I run it at 3. Metal Mimimon for popping Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less, And notice that these last 3 were either 2-ofs or 3-ofs. Because of their effect to also filter 3 cards for a level 6 machine Digimon, this adds a little bit of consistency as well. The last 3, however, are 1 copy of Cyberdramon for the D-Digivolve element, 2 BT8 Metal Greymons for swinging into my opponent's unsuspended Digimon, and 2 BT9 Megadramon for 3-cost Tamer Destruction. These are more beneficial for a variety of matchups, Megadramon being useful against security control decks that utilize Karika Miya's and Mimi Tachikawa's and the most popular Tamer, Cool Boy. Substitution wise, you can adjust your ratios how your meta is, which if you're seeing more D-Brigade coming up, Metal Memimon is a great option. But the deck revolves entirely around Machinedramon and Chaosdramon. Newly introduced in EX3, Chaosdramon has an on-play when digivolving effect that lets you place up to 3 red or black level 5 Cyborg Digimon under it to de-digivolve an opponent's Digimon for each card placed by this effect. While it doesn't have DP reduction protection, it does have protection from being bounced and deletion in general. The other major downside is that unlike EX1 Machinedramon, there's no memory gain back when you on-play it. But for Machinedramon, the play cost can in essence be 7 memory. But do watch out for memory blockers as they can prevent this. But with DP reduction protection and also on deletion protection, it isn't protected from bounce. So set up your stack appropriately during the matchup. For options, this deck runs 5 in the form of 1 Final Zubagon Punch, 3 Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon, and 1 Ultimate Connection. Final Zubagon Punch is my 1 tech in this deck in the D-Reaper matchup. By the time my opponent is able to set up a second Mother, I should have gamed. But the issue with this card is I have to dig for it. 3 Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon is appropriate because at 4 copies it definitely felt clogged, and 3 would always show up in my hand. This card allows my level 6 machine Digimon to have Rush and Blitz by trashing a machine or cyborg type Digimon from my hand. However, in this security it can potentially be a Gaia Force against 12 cost or less Digimon. And lastly, 1 Ultimate Connection for more draw, and also a potential memory trick if it's checked in the security. This takes the deck to its conclusion with 2 BT4 Izzy Azumi and 3 Kazu Shioda. Izzy Azumi helps rearrange the top of the deck to maximize the efficiency of your hits. You could run Tai Kamiya as well if you want DP buffs on your opponent's turn, but Izzy is a guaranteed 3-cost Tamer or even guaranteed a +1 memory if it's checked in the security. And finally, Kazu Shioda. This Tamer gives you a memory if you have a Cyborg or Machine Digimon in play. Remember how in the beginning I wanted to minimize the number of non-Cyborg Machine Digimon I had? This is why. In addition, when a Cyborg or Machine Digimon is suspended on all turns, I can suspend this Tamer to draw 1 and then trash 1 card, meaning you're further facilitating your end goal of Machinedramon. When it comes to strengths and weaknesses, this deck can play conventionally like any deck and digivolve from Rays 1 piece at a time. However, its strengths lie in its draw engine that can cycle cards quickly and in some instances set up faster than Purple's trash. You have a lot of protection and flexible plays with Machinedramon once you get there or even go into the Chaosdramon to have an even more protected boy from bounce effects. But weakness-wise, you tend to build slower and decks like Armor GX can definitely halt your strategy with its blocking capability. D-Digivolve can be huge for this deck as well. For combos, you'll want to raise pretty much the Hagurumons, Kokuomon, and Chikurumon in the raise. As often as you can, play your EX1 Hagurumons for maximum value. Once your trash is filled with level 5s or you've drawn a big fat hand, you can activate Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon, trash a machine or cyborg, then play Machinedramon for a 12 play cost. Gain 5 memory, Rush, and Blitz. Depending on what cards you have from earlier in this episode, you could pop multiple bodies, de-digivolve, reboot, and even have a blocker set up for the next turn. What are your thoughts on Machina Mayhem? With EX3, this adds the last piece I needed for Machinedramon to feel really smooth. Chaosdramon, while not the primary target, can do a lot of work on its own. Let me know your thoughts on this build, and I'll catch you next week on another Meta Monday episode. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.